The water, Barakatah, Kahalayimla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting a good fight of faith in truth and sincerity and wholeheartedly. And shalom to the Akwath, which is the women believers. Shalom unto you. It say, I call to remembrance my song in the night. Now, the songs, as you know, King David, the Psalms. Psalms mean songs, aka the scriptures. So he said, I call to remembrance my song in the night. You got to understand that whatsoever. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. But it say, I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search. Because when you go through things, you know, the only thing that comfort you is the scriptures. You know, you think about all the things that the great men of the Lord been through and overcame because of belief, you know. So the Lord gave us a song in the night. Night represent, you know, bad time, evil, curses. See, the day, as Yahweh Shai in the scriptures is called the day star. When we will have the day star, that's when we in the kingdom. Right now, we are in the night. And we're really at midnight because the day is about to come in. Our salvation is nearer than what you believe. So it's a high time for you to wake out of sleep, as it say in Romans 13:11. But call into remembrance the song in the night is these scriptures which comfort us. So that's why it said, whatsoever things are written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So and the reason it say might have hope, because it's not ordained, it's not guaranteed. That's a better word. It's not guaranteed for you to endure to the end. Many are called, few are chosen. So the faith is what's going to get you to overcome what's about to come to the earth. So it said, I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search. Will the Lord cast off forever, and will he be favorable no more? That's the way that you feel sometimes. You be like, damn, the wicked is winning. The people around you smiling, you know, living life. You mourning, you know, you being vexed. The spirits messing with you. And the reason I said this yesterday when I was on the highways and byways, the difference between us and people of the world is that they don't fight the flesh. We fight the flesh, and the flesh is strong. All right. The flesh, the scripture. That's why Yahweh Shai said, you know, watch and pray that you fall not into temptation. For the spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. So the flesh is strong when it comes to, you know, succumbing to the flesh. Like the scripture said that the flesh is weak, but I'm talking about how the flesh is strong when it comes to the desires that you have. And the weak part of it is that sometimes you fall to it, you know, but the lust desires is strong because this flesh is weak. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So, but the Lord, when you go, because they say, will the Lord cast off forever, and will he be favorable no more? Because that's the way that you feel sometimes, going back to you seeing everybody winning and prospering, smiling, but you mourning. And the scripture said that a wise man's heart is in the house of mourning. All right. Because the merry heart, you know, they're going to fall into perdition, which is destruction, because they don't take nothing serious. You got to look at life for what it is. And it said, is his mercy clean gone forever? Doth his promise fail forevermore? These are the things that go through our mind, especially when you're being chastened. When you're being chastised, man, it's not easy. That's why Hebrews 12:11 it said that, you know, going through the chastisement is not joyous but grievous. When you're going through it, it don't feel good. You know, the scriptures say that blessed is he who the Lord chasten, but when you going through the chastisement, that don't come into your mind on the first go around. You know, the flesh react. You start to complain. You start to be like, man, this is bullshit. and then the spirit settle you down. The flesh always react first for the most part. You know, that's why we are corrupted, as the scripture says. We are wretched. The scripture says in Romans 7:18, it said, no good thing dwelleth in his flesh. And then in verse 24 in Romans 7, it said, who should deliver me from this body of death? All right, because this body that we are in is nothing but death. And the wages of sin is death. This body is susceptible to sin. But while you're going through these things, those are the thoughts that you should have. Like, as it say in Micah 7:9, I will bear the indignation of the Lord, for I have sinned against him. That usually don't happen when you're going through something. You just start to, cry out to the Lord, which is nothing wrong with, but you always got to be mindful. The reason that you're going through these things too is because you have sinned, and everything is to humble you. That's why every great man had some type of problem. Solomon, he was a great king, the greatest king we had. He ended up going off. King David, who is the king, you know what I'm saying? Yahushua is the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, but right under him is King David. He went off. He committed adultery and murder and numbered Israel. That's why in Isaiah 55:3, that we trying to receive the mercies of David. So everything is to keep you humble and to realize that Yahweh, first of all, he have the preeminence, and he gave all judgment to his son. That's why we have to go to him. So when you're going through these things, these are the thoughts that we have. Will the Lord casteth off forever? And will he be favorable no more? Is his mercy clean gone forever? Doth his mercy promise fail forever? Had the Most High forgotten to be gracious? Have he in anger shut up his tender mercy? Say la. So that this is really what we go through sometimes. So this is why, I love this truth, because when I look into the world and when I talk to people, if I choose to talk to people, I just be like, man, you really don't know what's going on. That's why, matter of fact, let me get this real quick, for I can articulate my point better. No, I think it's, what is that? 67. I think it's 67. Yep. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I have kept your word. That's not it, but that's a good one. Damn. I think it's great that I have been afflicted, for now I can know your precepts. I can't find it right now, because that's gonna go out. Anyways, so the point is that the scripture said that it is great that I was afflicted, that I may learn your precepts. So the people who the Lord don't chasten, he said that he called them bastards. And he said those who he do chasten and they overcome, he dealeth with them as sons. That's in Hebrews chapter 12. So when you talk to people, even though they go through things, but they're not mindful, as the scripture said, they're not mindful of the scourges. That's a dangerous thing, not to be mindful of the scourges. A lot of people don't even understand that the reason that you go through the things that you go through, I'm talking about Israelites, because you curse. You're under the curses. That's why Revelation 22:3, it said there should be no more curse. That's after we delivered. So until we deliver, we under the curses. Some people have go through curses more than others. Whatever the lot the Lord giving you. So but these are the things, so our people who don't have understanding, they'll look at LeBron James, who's a billionaire, who plays basketball. Nothing important. He do nothing important in life. All right. He plays basketball, but people look to him. They extol him to the clouds, as the scripture would say. Whenever a rich man speaketh, they hold their tongue and extol what he say to the clouds. And when a poor man speaketh, they looking to overthrow him and say, what fellow is this? Paraphrasing. That's Ecclesiastes 13:23. So the poor man's wisdom is not heard, as the scripture says. But the point is that they'll look at that and be like, God got to be dealing with him. He's prosperous. He doing everything that his heart desire. The Lord said that this is not our rest. Our rest is not into the kingdom. We are on punishment, believe it or not. But the Lord is balanced. You have to have Israelites to prosper, because everything that's written have to be fulfilled. You have to have Israelites who's going to be drinking, eating, and being merry. You got to have script, because the scripture said, woe to them that are rich, for he have received his consolation. So somebody got to play that part. And then in James 2:5, it said that the Lord have blessed the poor to be rich in faith to inherit the kingdom. All right. So it said, and I said this in my affirmity, but I will remember the years of the right hand. Who was sitting up on the right hand of the Most High? Yahweh Shai. All right. Now, when you go through this whole chapter, this Psalm 77, it's really going into the deliverance of Egypt, ancient Egypt. Right now, we in spiritually Egypt, and we're going to be delivered again. All right. So this is spiritual because how do you remember? The scriptures in Ecclesiastes 1:11, it said that remembrance is the former things is not remembered. So that means when you come back, you don't remember. I think this is a Psalm of Asaph. I'm pretty sure it's a Psalm of Asaph, but just to make sure. Yep, Psalm of Asaph. So, going back. So yeah, so this is going into the deliverance of Egypt, and we're going to be delivered out of Egypt again. So how do you remember the years of the right hand? For whatsoever was written aforetime is written for your learning. So they had the scrolls, they had the Egypt, the Exodus, being Exodus out of Egypt. They had that. So when you're going through things, you're supposed to, meditate on those type of scriptures. And it says, I will remember the works of Yahweh Bashim Abishai. Surely I will remember the wonders of old. And the scripture said, what's that? I think it's Job 6. Is it Job 6:16? Or is it Jeremiah? Nope. Let me see. Yep. Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Abishai, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. So that's how I will remember the works of Yahweh. Surely I will remember the wonders of old. I will meditate also of all your work and talk of your doings. And then I even remembering Daniel. Daniel got delivered from the mouth of the lion. The three Hebrew boys, Meshach, just got a brain fart. Oh, Meshach, Shamrock, and Abednego. All right. They got delivered out of the fiery furnace. Yahweh Shai delivered them. All right. And just like Yahweh Shai delivered Daniel. But them is my two favorite accounts, because that's where you stand in death. Then you got the Maccabee brothers who actually took a death, standing stiffly for the name of the Lord. So, and guess what? They're written in the book of life. So when they come back, they're here. I believe that they're here. So whoever they are, they're going to receive a crown. Just for the things of old, the Lord said that he required was past. Ecclesiastes 3:15 or 16. So, matter of fact, it said Daniel for his innocency, because he ain't bowed down to the image of Nebuchadnezzar. And guess what? An image is coming today. It's called the Charagma. All right. And a lot of people is going to bow down to it, because the scripture said that it is, say he calls of all, but the elect is not going to take it. So this is the same thing. So it says Daniel for his innocency was delivered from the mouth of lions. And thus consider ye throughout all ages, that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. That's the mindset that you got to have, even when the Lord is chastening you. Because look at it from this aspect. If you still believing on the Lord and you still doing what he say to the best of your ability, you are in the right mind and you are putting your trust in him. Sometimes, he beat you down to build you back up. And within the building up, you have to recognize that the Lord is still dealing with you. It's been people that he beat down and they never got up. The scripture said that a righteous man falleth 7 times to get up again. A righteous man. So it's men on the earth who was deemed to be righteous in the eyes of the Lord and not by the law. Because if you offended one, you offended all. What you are righteous by, as Yahweh Shai commanded, going to the highways and byways, keeping the law to the best of your ability, the ones you can keep, and the icing on the cake, faith. Because you do those things because you have faith. Faith without works is dead. So it said, fear not the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. That's talking about Esau, Edom, and also the 2/3, because 2/3 don't give a damn about the Lord. They always speak great swelling words, words of unbelief. Talk about, yeah, that sound cool and all, but I'm gonna get this money. All right. That's wicked words. That's words from a sinful man. So he's going to get burnt. As the scripture said, his worm dieth not, which means that the Lord is going to keep you burning until he feel like, okay, you had enough. And it says, today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he should not be found, because he has returned into his dust, and this thought is come to nothing. His thought is come to nothing. Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant, show yourselves men. See, that's the thing. You got to be brave. The things that's coming to the earth, Matthew 10:28, it said, fear not him that killed the body and afterwards can't do nothing. Fear not him who was able to kill the body and afterwards can't do nothing. So after you kill, you with the Lord. And then you died in the name of Yahweh Shai. What the scripture says in 1 Thessalonians 4:16, you're going to be risen first. And then the rest who are alive, who believe in Yahweh Shai, you're all going to be caught up. And then you're going to get a crown on your head. And guess what? You're going to be ruling forevermore. So, wherefore ye, my sons, be valiant, show yourself men in the behalf of the law. For by it you shall attain glory, which shows you that the law always stands. The law is a schoolmaster which brought us to Yahweh Shai. Because if the law is done away with, why are we going to keep it in the kingdom? Why he's going to make us perfect according to the law by changing our vile body. So, going back to, the Lord, he didn't forget. But these are the questions that we have sometimes. When we being chastised and you're going through the things that you go through, you had these type of questions. Have the Lord forgotten us? Dang, is we ever going to win? So continue to stay prayed up. Oh, matter of fact, let me end it on this, which is a classic scripture. It said, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? The question is no. Well, the answer is no. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? The answer is no. We just read about some. Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? Now, the scripture said those who worship me worship me in spirit and in truth. So you have people who preach Yahweh Shai for envy and strife, Philippians 1:15. And you also got people who teach to fill their own belly. Because they see, oh, wait a minute, I could get some money off of people. I could get some popularity off of this. You got really people who doing the work for that. Death unto you. Woe unto you, you pastors who destroy my flock. All right, because you ain't teaching the truth. You teach it for filthy lucre's sake. So look at the generations of old. This is our book. This is our faith. Stand 10 toes down for the Lord. Pray for that strength. Shalom.